It's official. The Chicago Blackhawks have been eliminated from the 2021 Stanley Cup playoffs. Hawks lose 5-2 to the Carolina Hurricanes on the road in PNC Arena. This one not only hurts because we lost to the Hurricanes. I mean, I was kind of expecting it, but because the Predators had the Blue Jackets on their schedule. We were down 10 points, or actually we were down 8 points on Nashville. We needed to win every single game for the rest of the year, and Nashville needed to lose pretty much every game for the rest of the year. They had Blue Jackets for 2 games. They had the Blue Jackets. We have the Hurricanes for 3, and then the Stars for 2. It's not going to be easy for us. Predators have the upper hand here, and they knocked us out in the very first game of that battle. They won in overtime. Even because they went to overtime, they knocked us out anyways, because even if they had a 9-point lead after tonight, they would have eliminated us anyways. But they decided to win and rub more salt in the wound. So they have officially eliminated us from the 2021 Stanley Cup playoffs. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad because there were high hopes for this, or actually really low hopes for this season. But as the season progressed, the hopes got a little bit higher, and then they got lower, and then everyone came to the realization that, hey, this team wasn't projected to be good, so this is a win. And that's what I'm going to treat it as. I'm going to treat this season as not necessarily a win, not necessarily a good season for the Hawks, but a season that they did better than they were projected to be, which to me, in my book, is fine. And honestly, finishing above 2 teams in a division is kind of weird right now because, I mean, the last couple of years we finished last or second to last in the Central Division. But then again, it's the Central Division. It's a really hard division and a really tightly contested division. Any 7 of those teams, and then now coming in is Arizona, who I would say is towards the lower half of the division coming into next year. But they're not they're not going to finish last place in the division by 30 points. They're not that bad. I mean, they're only a couple points out of a playoff spot as of right now. But the odds are not looking for them to beat out St. Louis, which please, Arizona, please beat out St. Louis. I beg of you. I'm kind of ready for it to be official, as I'm kind of sick of grabbing onto that little tiny piece of hope that I still have left. And now knowing that, it's officially over is, I guess, a sigh of relief now that I don't have to stress about this. Well, as you can see, the room's pretty empty right now. The bed even is kind of empty back to its former state. And that's because today is the 4th of May. My roommate has just moved out. So all of his stuff has gone. The entire side of the room is empty blank. Nothing is there. The desk, or that's not the right way. The desk is empty. Everything is gone. So I'm here. Tomorrow I'll be packing stuff up. Be recording the video for tonight's game early in the morning. And then I'll be basically packing my stuff up for the rest of the day to get ready for move out. And then I'll be back for a video in my old house, or not my old house, in my house, for the final game of this 3-game set. This meaningless 3-game set, by the way. So, I mean, this is just, it's more or less a realization and a acceptance video, more so than I am very, very mad. Because I've already kind of expressed my frustration about how much I have hated this team kind of throughout the year, and I've had a couple videos where I've kind of taken it to a 10 on the anger scale in a way. Both sports this year, for the Bears and the Hawks. I think I've had it happen 3 times for each team, in a way, which should tell you something about how the Bears only have 16 games, and the Hawks have 56. Nearly half of their games this year were cut off because of COVID, because they, shortened season. I don't know, take it as you will. But needless to say, this has been a long year, to say the least. I think this season took a change for the worse after we finished our 7-2 rout of the Detroit Red Wings on February 28th. Because right after that, we had a 3-game set at home against the Tampa Bay Lightning, and then we started playing the Panthers and the Lightning a bunch, started playing the Predators more, started seeing the Stars, started seeing the Carolina Hurricanes. We had exhausted all of our games against the teams that we were better than, and the sample size had become more accurate on how good this team actually was. Our schedule was pretty easy. We had a pretty easy for the first half of the season, if you can call that first 2 months the first half of the season in a way. 12 of those games in the first 2 months was against Columbus and Detroit. That should say right there that the two teams were better than in the division right now. And I mean, that's probably how it's going to end. And we exhausted all of our games against those teams early in the year. Naturally, this gave the Blackhawks a pretty hard schedule for the remainder of the season, playing the Lightning, Panthers, and Hurricanes and Predators most of the time, which are most likely going to be the 4 teams going to the playoffs. That is, if Dallas does not pull off something, which I'd really like Dallas to pull off something to go to the playoffs, even if they get smacked by the Hurricanes or whoever's the first place team in the first round. I don't care. I just want to see Nashville not get in the playoffs because, I have a grudge on them. I'm going to hold a grudge on them for a while until we start, getting good again. We can actually beat them again. So, I'm not going to go off and go on another rant about the Predators because I've already done that twice this year. So, yeah, that's not going to happen again. As much as Predators fans want it, it's not going to happen again. This is more of a sigh, it's over kind of a video. But, I mean, the Hawks didn't really look good in this one either. They started off the game down 4-0. I mean, Dougie Hamilton scored on a goal that was shot in a centering pass from behind the goal line, and it went off the toe of Malcolm Subban. If you look at the replay, it's such a weird shot when you see the replay. It looks like the puck had a mind of its own, and once it touched the toe of Malcolm Subban, it's like, oh, well, I'm going in the net. It's a very interesting situation. I don't know how to explain it, except you got to watch it for yourself, because that was a really soft goal, too. That shouldn't have been let up. And I don't know, man. And then it put the icing on the cake. Sebastian Aho got a hat trick in this game after the Hawks scored 3 goals, technically. One of them got called back from, I think it was goalie interference. But 2 goals. And then Sebastian Aho buries an empty netter to make it a hat trick. That's weird to say. Gonna be frank. It's weird to say that someone got a hat trick because I don't know the last time a player for either the Hawks or the opposing team got a hat trick. The only other one I can remember this season was Pius Suter all the way back in January. I can't really think of anything else. Because, I mean, despite DeBrincat now having 26 goals, I think, he has not had a hat trick this season. Has a couple multi-goal games, but not a hat trick. So, I mean, I don't know. This is kind of the end. We all knew this was kind of happening. Once the season got to the point where we were starting to lose a lot of games, and then the Predators started to take our spot, and the gap started coming big, and then a final series against Nashville, where we ended up ending the series at like a 5-point deficit with Tampa, Carolina, and Florida, all our next 3 opponents. I think we all realized the season is kind of over. Maybe a miracle pulling off some wins against some really good teams, but outside of that, no. And it shows right there. We have a 5-game losing streak right now. If we lose our next 4 games, it's a 9-game losing streak to end the year, which would be weird to think our final win of the season would be a miracle 3-goal in 2-minute comeback win against the Predators. But yeah, I think that's going to end this video. Kind of a bit more somber tone. A lot of things are ending right now. The Hawks season has just ended. My time here in the dorm is ending. And yeah. So, thanks for watching. If you stayed this long, like the video, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.